So back in early fall, I want to say it was October, one of our dearly loved church members, Ben Jerome, who also served on the Ministerial Search Committee, he gifted me with a book entitled Mindfulness by the world-renowned Buddhist Joseph Goldstein, who co-founded the Insight Meditation Society. Maybe some of you know it. There's one here in just next door in Cambridge. So this book is one of Ben's go-tos. He has even offered words from it for our chalice lighting. And I have particularly loved seeing the cover of his book, so worn and markings on all the pages, him sitting next to me up here. Do you have any books like this in your life? The kind where you just open to any page and it's like, bam, life makes sense. I keep saying it'd be nice to create a little library here so that we can share some of them with each other. I have a feeling you have many to share. And by the way, I share all of this with Ben's permission. I don't want to embarrass him today. So if you're with us at home, Ben, thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about you. You know, I have to say, as a minister, one of the greatest blessings in serving a congregation like you is coming to know the ways you cultivate meaning in your lives. You're so wise and have so much to gift this world with. You have gifted me with so much this past year. I learn from you every day. And so this go-to book that Ben so generously gifted me, I brought the copy, so it's down here if anyone wants to flip through it after service. I have to say it is nothing short of spectacular. So Buddhism has spoken to me for a really long time. When I was in my late 20s, I began attending the Shambhala Meditation Center in Chicago. Shambhala is the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. And I so loved the peace and beauty of that place. I remember the first time I sat in meditation, it was about 20 other people, and the silence that befell that room felt so good. I'd never experienced anything like that at that age. And as anyone here knows, and I'm sure that Ben can attest to this, meditation is not for the faint of heart. Have any of you tried it? Yeah. It did not take long at the Shambhala Center all those years ago for that clamoring cacophony of thoughts to rush in. Suddenly that peaceful room became the noisiest place on earth, right? And the most uncomfortable. It's hard. Stilling oneself is really hard. And we are unpracticed at this. I certainly was and am. I say the reward is great, but me, oh my, you've got to work for it, hard-earned. And despite me not identifying as a Buddhist, which I don't, and having a very real love-hate relationship with meditation to this day, one of the cornerstones of my lived faith is the title of the book that Ben gave me, which is mindfulness. Mindfulness. And there's an enormous amount of teaching and discourse that comes out of the Buddhist tradition about this. Countless sacred texts that expound upon what mindfulness is and means, its various forms, how you get there, what keeps you from it, how you return to it, and how you embody it in all matters of life and with all manners of people, right? So Joseph Goldstein, the author of Mindfulness, calls it the gateway to wisdom. And he says that, quote, the most common understanding of mindfulness is that of present moment awareness, presence of mind, wakefulness. This is the opposite, he says, of absent-mindedness. We know about absent-mindedness, yeah. He tells this story After one of my public talks, a woman who had been on several retreats came up to me and said she had most recently been on a cruise. And in her room was a map of the ship with this arrow and caption saying, "You are here," right? And she said that for the rest of the voyage, wherever she was and whatever she was doing, those words became the reminder to simply be present. You are here. So if I'd have landed on that story and reading before the Arbella went out and the order of service was printed, that would for sure have been the title of this sermon, You Are Here. I got close, to be present, but You Are Here is just way better, way better. You are here. And friends, this to be presentness, this you are here-ness, it speaks to a universal truth that has been expressed by countless faith traditions and peoples across thousands of years and languages, articulated and sung in sacred texts and poems and music. Be still. Breathe. Return to the home of your soul. Notice. You are here. We are here. I recognize the divine in you. You recognize the divine in me. And that the promised land is here. It is here. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's our theme this month, by the way, nurturing beauty. And it is only when we are away from ourselves, absent-minded, right? Away from our fellows, away from the majesty and miracle that is the earth, away from God, whose names are countless, not present, not mindful that the promised land eludes us. Peace eludes us, beauty eludes us, love eludes us. And our beautiful reading today, thank you so much, Jean, for that. From Barbara Brown Taylor's book, this is one of my go-to well-worn books, by the way, An Altar in the World. It's such a help in this quest for drawing our attention to where we are with such simple, accessible instruction. She calls this paying attention to where we are, setting little altars in the world. Stopping what I'm doing long enough, she writes, to see where I am, who I am there with, and how awesome the place is. The world, she writes, is so thick with divine possibility that it is a wonder we can walk anywhere without cracking our shins on altars. I define altars, by the way, as marked places of awe and meaning. They're everywhere. And I know that most of us are just muddling through life, right? I often am. Absent-minded, just trying to get by, just trying to get through. But I do believe that it is possible to practice this art of presence and to grow stronger in it, to build muscles in it, right? So as to build a life marked by the mere effort, just the mere effort to encounter the divine possibility that is this precious moment, right here, right now. And I sense this is why you are here, why you've gathered here, right? Trying to be present, working to build a life and world that is meaningful and beautiful. And for those of you who struggle to see the importance of a practice such as this given the state of the world, please hear me when I tell you that this is engagement with the world. This is doing justice in the world. The personal practice of present moment awareness and attention, it helps me to be a better citizen in this world. It expands my ability to be compassionate and to notice my fellow suffering, to notice this earth's suffering and not just walk right by it. So easy to do. This is called engaged Buddhism, by the way, and its emphasis is on the power of mindfulness and presence with oneself and our fellows. It's been shown to transform movements dedicated to collective liberation. And so over the next few weeks, especially as we take in this month's theme and take in the beauty that is May, maybe you'll take up Barbara Brown Taylor's exercise for yourselves. Try it. Sit down somewhere for 20 minutes and just pay attention. See what happens. And if you're curious about meditation, you might begin with 2 minutes of simply noticing your breathing. Just start there. You can do that most anywhere. Your breath goes with you everywhere. Try it. See what happens. There are lots of ways to practice presence and mindfulness, and I hope you'll take this month to investigate some of them for yourself, and even better, share them with one another. So I want to offer you a closing poem which found its way to me just yesterday. I call moments like that, when poems find their way just at the right moment in time, serendipitous. It's called Mindful by Mary Oliver, so let's close with that. Saint Mary. Every day I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in the haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, the common, the very drab, the daily presentations. Oh, good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise with such teachings as these? The untrimmable light of the world, the ocean's shine, the prayers that are made out of grass. So practicing presence might not always be easy or come naturally to you, and I know you all hold so much, we all do. But my message to you this morning is that you were born for this. We all were, we've just forgotten. So I hope you will try it. Nurture the beauty of it, and my God, forgive yourselves and one another when you falter. You can always return to the untrimmable light of the world, for it is here waiting for us. I believe that. I pray you know this. And I say to you, amen.